Well, hello, and welcome to yet another edition of the Tao Manifesting Tarot. Thank you very much for being here. You know what you want to manifest. You know what your idea is, your ultimate goal is. You need a little help getting there. That's what this tarot reading is all about. It gives you the daily frequencies that you need to help manifest more easily, more quickly, more successfully. And we begin right here with the Hyper Shuffle. Here you go. Here is today's Tao Manifesting Tarot Shuffle. Let's get to it. And we begin with the frequency card that you need to focus on today to help you manifest. At least today, anyway. It's called Imagine. Very powerful. Your imagination is really where everything in your life begins. With your ability to imagine, to conjure up pictures, feelings, scenarios in your mind. If you can do it in your mind, you can do it in your world. Imagine. And of course, with that big moon up top, we're looking at that full moon coming up, I think, in about another week or so, right? I think at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. That may be the timeline. Not surprising, since we do have Mercury retrograde, etc., etc. This would be the time, Mercury retrograde, to use your imagination to not physically get to something, but to use your mind to be able to get there. Alrighty. And let's begin with the first card. This is the Eight of Cups, or the Eight of Pentacles, excuse me. Eight of Pentacles is a very, very simple, very basic card. It's all about job satisfaction. It's progress. It's deciding to get the job done. Now, it could be to do with money. It could be making a recommitment to your job, your career, something like that. That's possible. But with the energy card, the prime energy card being imagination, I think it's much more than that. And I think it's what you value. Imagining what is important to you, not letting someone else say, oh, well, in society today, this is what's important. This is what you have to do to succeed. This is what you have to do to have meaning in your life. You are determining that on your own. You are determining what pentacles are in your life. Remember, pentacles are things that you value. And just valuing money, from my point of view, is very shallow existence. Yes, we need it, but it's not the most important thing in life. And what you are finding, or what you're working on, is what is most important to you. That's where you're using your imagination energy. And it all begins with you loving yourself, respecting yourself. And, very often when I do this, people go, well, that's narcissism, isn't it? No, narcissism is completely different. Narcissism is huge insecurity that is covered up by bravado, by bullying, by loud noise, by intimidation. Real love and respect for yourself is very quiet, very powerful, very, very deep. And since this is, if you will, by the card anyway, a gift from heaven, it's very special. Could be a realization as you're using your imagination. Remember, that's the frequency tool to your manifesting. As you begin to love yourself, as in fact, you begin to work towards loving yourself. That's when your manifesting comes through. Your imagination is the missing piece at this point. Imagine loving yourself. Imagine making the respect, your self-worth, as the most important thing. And everything else kind of falls into place. So at this point, it's very clear. Use your mind to create a real connection, positive connection with you, which means the old way of thinking is going to have to come to an end. All the programming, all the stuff that you've heard since the day you were born, whether you remember it or not, it registers in your subconscious, and either it works for you or against you. All of us, it's a combination. But at this point, there are parts of that program, whether it's from society, your family, whatever, that have to die. that have to come to an end have to be done. And you can do that with your imagination. And you do that by focusing on your values, and your value as a person, as an individual, is the chief idea that you must keep in mind and you must work toward. Very important, which means you got to be very clear in your thinking. You have to be very straightforward, very honest with yourself. And part of that honesty, when you say be honest with yourself, very often that means people turn critical. Well, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not. No, we're not talking about it. How about reversing the story? I am this, I am this, I am this. Focus on the positive. Remember, we're dealing with this, self-love. Focus on the positive. Manifest a very positive self-worth. Imagine doing that. Everything will come together. Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is a very simple, straight-ahead card, because what it talks about is teamwork, learning new skills, competence, even apprenticeship. How about connecting with the three parts of you, your mind, body, spirit? Imagining, at least. Remember, that's the key energy for the day today. Imagining. Picture yourself being complete. Not perfect, but being complete. Of course, that means you're going to have to make a choice. You either stay with what you're doing, stay with what you're thinking, staying with what you're believing, or go a different way. Remember, Einstein said that if you do the same thing the same way and expect different results, that's insanity. Your imagination can resolve this Two of Swords. And in fact, you put these energies together if you are honest with yourself. And that means in a positive way, right? Because we're dealing with the Eight of Pentacles here. You're working towards positive self-worth. We're dealing with the Ace of Cups. If you take that attitude, if you imagine, that's the key. And it's so very difficult for us to imagine loving ourselves. I know we talk about it, we say the words, but to actually get to the place where you can positively imagine it, it is tough. And again, you got to have self-love. Here's the King of Cups. You have to expect yourself, respect yourself. But you see the planet Saturn in behind him there. Very often it is that conditioning that affects us, that changes us, that keeps us from growing. We can't imagine because we got this Saturn energy, this restrictive energy, this authority energy. This is what I was told. This is what they made me believe. I'm not that good. I'm not that worthwhile. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. But you have to imagine. That's the job. That's the job. You got to step out in faith. You have to say, okay, my mind and my conscious experience tells me otherwise. I'm kind of a screw-up. I'm kind of incompetent. I'm not perfect. But the Fool says, I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. I'm going to go forward anyway. I'm going to go forward in belief. That's why this is my second favorite card in the whole tarot deck, next to the Sun. The Fool, to me, is faith. Going forward with positivity. One foot in front of the other. And to be able to do that, that means he can imagine loving himself, being positive, valuing himself. All the things that we've been talking about up to this point. But at this moment, especially with the Mercury retrograde, you may be in a position where, boy, that's tough. That's tough. You got to do something to get a different view of yourself, a different view of your situation, your condition. You have to see something from a different angle. And how do you do that? Well, manifesting it real fast into reality is pretty difficult for most of us. It does happen from time to time, but really it's pretty difficult. So how do you get to that point where you get the different view? You get the opportunity to combine these two cards. The positivity of the Fool, the faith of the Fool, which will give you a new perspective. How do you do that? You begin by using your imagination. It is such a powerful tool. Don't let this energy slide by and keep you from manifesting just exactly the way you should. So that's it. Real simple. You can do this. Thumbs up to the folks at YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share. Any comments? below, and I'll take care of them, look at them, and thank you for them in advance. So, between now and the next time you and I have a chance to manifest tarot together, and I hope it's soon because I do it tomorrow. In fact, I do a brand new read every day, 365 days. But the next time that we have our opportunity to manifest tarot, as always, peace and blessings.